So let's start with our session today. As in yesterday's session, we all have seen the more technical part of pleading, right? How to make a draft of it, what are the important pointers which needed to be mentioned, what is verification, what is signature, right? Even we have seen how affidavits are working, okay? Once I'm complete with your core ideas or core subjects, then I'll share all the PDFs with you. Okay, so it will be easy for you to understand. If you have any questions or anything you feel there needed to be understand again, so that will be provided to you. Okay, so today we are going to start with the legal notices, and then tomorrow I will come to the written statement. Okay, so as we are going, first is plaint, then legal notice, and then written statement. Okay, we are going with that flow. Okay, so I'll share my screen with you and I'll explain you what is legal notice. Now there are general aspects of it which I have not mentioned inside of this legal notice draft, but somehow I am going to state you in certain pointers so you will get an idea. Okay. Now as you can see this draft, under this draft you will see these are the general application of legal notice. Okay, so there are different types of legal notices. There are more than 5 or 6, okay, which you all can follow, and this is how I have made the main uh, structure of it. Okay, so as you all can see over here, I have started with legal notice format for suit against government under section 80 of IPC. Um, Basically, whenever we are making a notice, so whenever we are filing a suit against a government under section 80 of CPC, we are writing the title as it is and then we write that application. Okay, which we are calling it as a legal notice, but it is a easiest form of writing. It's like an application. Okay, so whenever we are going to draft legal notices, okay, section 80 of civil procedure code has given the more importance. Okay, so first I'll explain you what is legal notice, and then we all will learn in depth regarding to what are the types of whatever draft we have made over. Okay, so first of all, we all know that we are making many of the common mistakes about the legal summons, right? And even most of the practitioners or most of the people cannot define what goes into that, means what need to write over there. Okay, so it is always advisable to get a legal expert, or it's really important for you being a lawyer. You should explain what you're going to mention or on what basis the legal notice needed to be done. Okay, so it is same as what goes in writing when we are dealing with this legal notice process. Okay, so first we will understand what is legal notice. Then we will understand uh, how the crux of it works. Okay, so I just have a general question to you. Can you tell me what is legal notice according to you, or just normal? What is notice? So you will get an idea why we are mentioning all the section differently whenever we are making any different legal notice. So can any one of you tell me what is legal notice? Yes. Any one of you? As I can't see your chat box, okay, because I'm sharing a screen over here. So can anyone tell me whatever things you are typing in a chat box, if someone's mic is not working, any another person can also help in that process. That's fine. Okay, ठीक है. No problem. Okay. So basically, what is legal notice? We all let's talk from a general idea, not much into technical language of what CPC is talking. Okay, so um, all legal actions, we know that, can be taken place once the notice has been given, or once the notice has been served upon to any individual you wish to take to the court, right? This is what is general idea we have. So it is somewhere, it is a process that this legalism terminology or this legal terminology bringing a matter to the court. Okay. So the intimation sent is known as a legal document. And that's why we are coming up with the term that is known as legal notice. Okay. So it is nothing but it is a formal communication to a person or entity. It means you are informing the other party of your own intention, okay, to undertake certain legal proceeding against them. Okay. Now what happens next? Next, the notice when it is sent, okay, it is somewhere conveyancing or it is somewhere conveying your intention before the legal proceeding. And it is making a party aware of your grievances. So many times we all know that a legal summon is served and that legal summon will bring the other party to the right, and the problem is often resolved out of the court. So well before it go to the trial with the fruitful discussions on the both side. This is what a general idea of our legal notice, which many of you are practicing, you know, and this is a general idea which we also know. Okay. Now coming to the last stage of it, if over here any another party is still unheading the grievance, okay, so one can always start the proceeding after the prescribed interval as it has been stated by the law or law officer. And then bottom line is that they can serve as a point of reference to embark upon the negotiation between these parties. Okay, and this negotiations between the parties save both the timing, effort, money that usually spent in the court cases. Okay, this is what general idea of our legal notice is. Now, what are the essential information included inside of your legal notices? So, a legal summon is filed as per Section 80 of Code of Civil Procedure. Okay, as I have written over here also. Okay, it is only filed in civil cases. Okay, and this legal document or this legal notice is an intimation. So it is carrying certain type of information. So what type of information you all need to keep it in your mind? First, precise statement and facts relating to the grievances for which the action is needed to be taken. This is your first pointer. Second, if there is any alternative or relief sought by the grieving party. Okay. Third thing, the summary of the facts, shorter summary of the facts. And fourth, the way they can be resolved. Okay. So after going through all these four pointers of civil procedure code, okay, you know, this is somewhere a complete brief of the problem that here the aggrieved party is facing, and they're combined with what can be done to resolve the issue and did not clearly mention. So the last part of your legal notice should contain a detailed account of how relief can be obtained and how problem can be solved once the grievance is mutually agreed upon the parties. ठीक है, ये जनरल आइडिया होना चाहिए when we are drafting this. Now when we are talking about a perfect legal notice, और जिसे हम कहते हैं a perfectly crafted legal summary, so this can be act as a mediator between the two parties, and this is somewhere going to help the issue out of the court if of both of your parties are willing to compromise on the issue. Okay, you being a plaintiff and another being a defendant. Okay, so whenever we are drafting this notice, okay, there are certain aspects we need to keep it in our mind. Okay, name and required of information, name of the parties to whom you are writing, by whom, the subject, everything. Next is description of them, place of residence of the notice sender. Okay, जैसे यहाँ पे we have written reference number, dated, registered ED और उसके नीचे और the name. ठीक है, ऐसे. Next is aspects of the effect. ये general terminology है, which we are going to see in depth, but giving you a short idea as draft is open over here. This is what we are discussing. Okay. Now, lastly, we ask for the form of relief claimed by the sender of the notice. And last, the gist of the legal base you need to give for the relief claim. Okay. Now, let's talk about filing of this legal document or filing of this legal notice. ठीक है, so ये चीज we have discussed before also. Filing of any legal document or filing of any legal notice. ठीक है, whenever we are talking about a document or a notice, of course precision and accuracy, हमारा rule 4 we have seen, sorry, fundamental rule 4 we have seen regarding to the civil procedure code, order 7 rule 2, right? So defined, yes. Do you have any question, dear? Okay, okay. So, as I was talking about Order 7 Rule 2, so we were talking about the precision and accuracy and use of a definite language to ensure that the message to whom it has been sent, it will be across, when the person is going to across, it will be in a correct format. Okay, or over here a legal expert or there are many agents can help in putting forth the legal formats also as per the law. ठीक है, and it is also requiring wording of particular issue. Here on this and this issue we are writing this legal notice. Okay, this is known as filing of any legal document or legal notice. Okay, now coming to the next part. Now there are certain questions may be arose in your mind. Do serving legal summon is mandatory, or is serving legal summon is mandatory or not? Okay, so this legal matters are be confusing, but once the question many people ask is whether sending a legal summon is really needed or not. General hai ye. Okay, so if you ask me, the answer is actually yes. Okay, serving a legal summon is a crucial step in many legal situations, and it's like giving a warning seeking further legal action. Okay, just for example, if someone is not paying you rental money, okay, if you are a landlord and your tenant is not paying rental money, so you can send him a notice ki if you don't pay the rent of third month or upcoming third month, so if you're not paying the amount within a 10 days or 15 days time period, I'm going to take a legal action against you. So within that time period, if that person is not, if paid, so your issue is already resolved. But if that person is not doing, so yes, you can raise that issue in the court of law by Maharashtra Rent Control Act if that person is staying in Maharashtra. Okay, so this is just a general example. Okay, now let's talk about how this legal summons, sending of this legal summons work more in depth regarding to the general idea. Okay, first, always be clear and concise in your notice. Okay, second, I am repeating this, that use any simple language and avoid complex jargons. Okay, simple language है ना, जैसे I have talked yesterday also. ठीक है, सिंपल लैंग्वेज का मतलब है मे बी many of the states are following their mother tongue, either Hindi, Marathi, maybe English, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. Any can be used, Gujarati. Okay, so make sure कि it is giving a clear idea. Make sure you are using simple language and please no jargon. Many people are nowadays making I don't know, for making it more creative, they are making it more complex and more hard to understand. Okay, that's why just don't try to make it more complex or jargons inside of your draft, even if it's a general legal notice format. Okay, and next is that it should be clearly stating the problem and action you expect that the other party to take. ठीक है, keep your tone professional and focused when you are writing this, and it's a good idea if you guys are sending the notice through the registered post. Okay, this way you are having a proof that the notice was delivered. Okay, now there are many of the deliveries which are there in India. Okay, so maybe you are having a question ki how court summon deliveries are there in India. Okay, so they are having their personal service by courier officers. They send through the courier services, RPAD services. Okay, service by a plaintiff by handy service hota hai, and substitute services are there. Okay, so I'll explain you this in very short, and then we'll come to directly the main draft formats. Okay, so personal service by courier officer. Okay, so here the court are issuing the summons to the defendant personally or through his agent. ठीक है, and the court's officer are delivering the summon to the defendant in person or by the agent of the court. Okay, and in the absence of the defendant at his residence, the summons is served to an adult member of his family. Okay, but the family member needed to be an blood relative of them, then and only it has been handed over. Next thing is, next way, that is service through courier services, which is also known as RPAD services. Okay, so this services, where you can see where the High Court established the rule for service through registered postal acknowledgement. Okay, that's why we are calling it as a RPAD. Okay, so this has been done by speed post or courier services. Again I'll give you the brief idea what is RPAD. So RPAD is registered post acknowledgement due. Okay, registered post acknowledgement due, ये आपको पता होना चाहिए if you're dealing with legal notices. ठीक है, so this is somewhere a addition to direct services by the court. ओके, नाउ एक मैंने कहा था कि दिस सर्विस बाय द प्लेंटिफ, जिसे हम हैंडी सर्विसेज कहते हैं. ओके, सो हियर द कोर्ट मे अलाउ द सर्विसेज ऑफ द समन्स टू द प्लेंटिफ upon their application, and the mode is valid over here, and the rules of the direct services by the court apply to this method. ठीक है, now there are certain substitute services to this legal notices. ठीक है, ये होता है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सेटिस्फेक्शन ऑफ द कोर्ट. ओके, जैसे कहो कि इफ द कोर्ट हियर दैट द डिफेंडेंट इज अवॉइडिंग सर्विसेज इन अ ऑर्डिनरी वे. ठीक है, सो दे मे एम्प्लॉय सब्स्टिट्यूटेड सर्विसेज. अभी हाउ दे विल employ the substituted services? First of all, they will be affixing a copy of summons to the conspicuous part of the courthouse. Okay, secondly, they will be affixing a copy of the summons to a conspicuous part of the defendant house. ठीक है. और थर्ड होगा, दे विल बी एडवर्टाइजिंग इन अ लोकल न्यूज़पेपर वेयर द डिफेंडेंट ऑर्डिनरी रिसाइडिंग, he is carrying his business or he is working for his personal, matlab he is doing certain service under private company or anywhere. Okay, these are the three methods which are followed for this legal notices. Now nowadays we are modernized, we are came up with the digital era, so the service through electronic messages are also there. Okay, so service of the summons can be made through electronic media such as emails or fax, the speedy deliveries, right? So that's why we are having information technology, and the rules are prescribed by the High Court to govern this mode of services. Okay, and last, I can say that last uh, type of sending the services or providing the services is services in special cases. ये one of the important one है, क्योंकि there are certain special provision for services of the summons in specific cases. Okay, so this is covered under order 5 rule 21 to 30, section 28 order 29 rule 2, and order 30 rule 3 of civil procedure code. Okay, don't worry, I'll type this name in your chat box after explaining you all these things. Okay, now what happens if you get summoned to the court and you don't go? Everyone knows what happens, but still I feel we should uh, follow this as we are learning legal notices. First of all, if you receive a summon to the court and you are failed to appear without a proper justification, so there are several consequences. One is contempt of the court. Okay, next is issuance of warrant of your arrest if you do not appear or summoned. Okay, you need to pay certain amounts of fines or penalties regarding to this. Okay, compulsory appearance needed to be there, because see, court may compel your appearance by force also, including, as I have said, your arrest, ensuring your compliance with the legal process. Okay, there are certain additional legal consequences that person needed to be followed. Okay, जैसे कि failure to appear can lead to unfavorable legal judgment also. Okay, decision being made in your absence, so this may negatively impact the outcome of your case, nothing else. Okay, next is a bench warrant. Okay, can you tell me what is a bench warrant, everyone? Do you have idea what is bench warrant? Yes. What is bench warrant? Any idea? Any one of you? Yes. Vedangi, do you know what is bench warrant? As you have unmuted.
Ma'am, arrest warrant to arrest a person failing to appear in the court.
Okay. Okay. Correct, Debashish. Thank you for giving the answer. Yes. So basically, a bench warrant may be issued. Okay. This is somewhere leading to your arrest. If you come into contact with law enforcement for any of the reason. अभी इसमें हम reasons नहीं बता सकते. There are many several reasons regarding to it. Okay, no issues, Vedangi. It's okay. Okay, so bench warrant is something where we can say that it is crucial to communicate any valid reason for non-appearances to the court, and as soon as it is possible, needed to be done. So, if you are unable to attend and you are notifying the court in advance and seeking permission for the alternative arrangement, so this may be essential to avoid more severe consequences. So, ignoring a court summon can escalate your legal issue. And again, as I am saying, this is going to result in significant repercussions. मतलब लीगल जजमेंट जो आपके साइड से होना था वो शायद नहीं हो सकता है, एडवर्स इफेक्ट करेगा. ठीक है. Now what type of legal notices we have? We are having civil notices, we are having, या जिसे हम सिविल समन्स भी कहते हैं, जिसे हम सिविल क्रिमिनल समन्स कहते हैं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव समन कहते हैं, कोर्ट समन्स कहते हैं, ठीक है, ट्रैफिक समन्स, पुलिस समन्स. ओके, सो this is what we do follow when we are dealing with this notices. Okay, अभी procedure है for this legal notices or for this legal summons. बहुत in short में I'll explain you. I will not take your more time and हम draft जल्दी देखेंगे. It's easy to understand. Now, first step when you're going ahead with this procedure. Okay, the first step is that you need to prepare a legal notice or summons with the issue. What needed to be there inside? There should be an issue, the relief which has been sought, and you need to define a time frame. So time frame will be there between 30 to 60 days to solve the issue, and it needed to be addressed to other party and you need to send to the registered aid post. या जो मैंने आपको सर्विसेज बताई है, जो कोड भी फॉलो करती है, जो आपके लिए कन्वीनियंट हो, दैट यू कैन डू. ठीक है. The second thing, after you are sending the legal notice, you need to save a copy of receipt which you have sent it. Okay, so this may come in handy in case of filing for the court case. मतलब एक copy you need to keep with you, either if it is an email, either if it is an fax or a handy procedure you have submitted at there. Okay, third step which you need to follow, that is also stated as a patience procedure or patience step. कि just wait for the stipulated period of time before filing the court case. Okay, जैसे as you take time to think about something, you should give that time to the person who is there in front. Okay, that we need to follow. That's why we are saying it is somewhere, third step is somewhere you need to behave patiently certain times, and please counsel to your client regarding to this also. Okay, and at last, now we are at the stage where the person or entity to whom the legal notice was served, they will have the days in their hand, like as I have said, 30 to 60 days to reply to the notices, or they can opt for an out of the court statement, out of the court settlements also. ठीक है. So even if the other party were to ignore in ignoring a legal notices, so it is essential for them, or it is essential for the aggrieved party to open up the grievances through the medium of a legal format. And if this other party were not to reply to this notice, they are likely to be at a disadvantage when appearing inside of a court. ठीक है. And the same applies to the replying to a legal summon also. जैसे written statement हम देखेंगे कल, तो वो that format is ready. Since we know कि there are made to know appropriate law to be used to respond or claims demanded by the other party, but we need to be stick to the issue what has happened and what claim we are asking for. ठीक है. This is how we are covering the general idea of legal notices. Okay, now let's see what are the draft of legal notice. Okay, yes, I feel the screen is visible everyone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, dear. Yes. So the first format which we have made, this format is, as I have again saying it to you, this is there under section 80 of Civil Procedure Code. ठीक है. So इसका subject भी आएगा notice under section 80 of Code of Civil Procedure Code. Okay, ऐसे नहीं लिखोगे आप application to the court and all, आप direct लिखोगे notice under section 80 Code of Civil Procedure. Okay, so reference number will be given, date we need to write, registered AD. ठीक है. Next is your subject to whom you are writing. Okay, the secretary to the government of whatever the government area jurisdiction you need to write, and department. Okay, under the instruction from my client. Okay, now you're writing as a advocate. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आप आपके through client you are writing. Okay, so you are a agent, ठीक है, of your client. So that's why under the instruction from my client Shri AB, resident of CD, I hereby give you the legal notice. Okay, and then we are explaining that my client Shri, the name of your client, dash, shall file a civil suit against the government in the court of competent jurisdiction after the expiry of 2 months from the date of service of this notice for the cause of action and relief mentioned in the draft of plaint enclosed herein, which may be treated as part of this notice. Okay, a very short and simple type of notice we all have over here, that is which is made under section 80 of civil procedure code. Then at the left side we write yours faithfully, the name of the advocate, enclosure, plain, sign and signature will be there. Okay, this is what one of the simplest form of writing a legal notice which is available under section 8. Okay, now let's come to the next type or next part. Okay, legal notice format for the construction by neighbor which is invading my privacy. Okay, so again we are writing reference number, date, subject, that is this is a legal notice. जो अभी आपने जो title लिखा है ना, the title you are going to write legal notice for the construction by neighbor which is invading my privacy. आप ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो. Okay, to whom you are writing, that name you need to write, and then dear sir and madam. Okay, most of time try to avoid writing respected sir, respected ma'am. Okay, उसके उसे आप omit करो, try to write dear sir and madam. Okay, pursuant to the instruction from and on behalf of my client, name of your client, resident of registered name you need to write, I do hereby serve you with the following legal notice. First, that you are constructing a structure at your land adjacent to my house which is interfering with my client's privacy, that you should stop the construction at the time immediate effect. Kindly note that if you fail to comply with my request, I shall be constrained to initiate legal proceeding against you at your risk as to cost and consequences. A copy of notice is kept in my office for a record and further necessary action, and you are also advised to keep the copy safe as you will be asked to produce in the court. And again at the left side, most of time in such type of notices, they don't write yours faithfully and all. Directly the name of the advocate, stamp if it is there, and signature has been given over here. This is how a second format works. Now third format. Okay, this is there to a company for non-payment of salary and other interest and allowances. Okay, so again reference number we are writing, date, subject, this is a legal notice. Now to whom it's like to company we are writing. So XYZ Company Private Limited through its managing director, Mr. ABC, sir or madam. Here you can write dear sir or madam, or directly if you are writing sir and madam, it's fine. Okay. Pursuant to the instruction from and on behalf of my client, the name of your client, resident, permanent address, I do hereby serve you with the following legal notice. First, that my client name was appointed by your offer letter, the date when the person have got their offer letter, and the salary of my client dash was fixed rupees dash per month, that the offer letter dated dash stated the joining date as dash, which my client duly followed. Okay, that my client did her or his duty diligently, regularly, and with utmost punctuality and sincerity, and with full of devotion in accordance with the well-settled provision of the law. You issued the offer letter in the name of my client and got printed the visiting cards also in the name of my client along with the identity card. That on. तो जिस दिन आपको आइडेंटिटी कार्ड मिला था, दैट इशुएंस डेट यू नीड टू राइट, वो आईडी कार्ड पे भी होती है, दैट डेट नीडेड टू बी रिटन विथ हियर. When my client went to attend her duty, then your office abruptly refused to allow my client to attend her duty. and told the services of my client are no more required by your office, and thus the services of my client have been terminated by you in most illegal and unlawful manner without any reasonable rhyme and cause. At the time of termination of the services of my client, you did not pay the salary for the month of, you need to write कितने month का salary, how much day. ठीक है, in the month of May, and 20 days salary for the month of that, which comes rupees, let's say that 25,000 to my said client. That my client visited your office from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. From the time to time, spent a huge amount of rupees. Okay, chitna amount laga, let's say that 2,000, 3,000 on the charges of traveling, but you refuse to pay, and also the amount of rupees that client spent while doing field work of your company. मतलब कंपनी विजिट के लिए जो रिइंबर्समेंट कंपनी आपको देती है, दैट अमाउंट यू नीड टू राइट, जैसे ट्रैवल, फूड, स्टे, दैट ऑल you need to write. Lastly, let's say that in the third month, you year, you clearly refuses to pay the salary amount of rupees, let's say that 50,000 to my client, along with the traveling charges and amount spent on field work. That you did not provide any statutory benefits, that is providential fund, etc. And you also did not pay the bonus of another services benefits, which totally comes to the rupees. Let's say that it may be more than 50,000. Okay, amount more than 50,000 ही होता है most of it. Okay, and I therefore call upon you through this notice to make a payment of rupees. ये total calculation of money आपको यहाँ पे लिखना है, ठीक है, to my client along with interest up to date, under intimation to me within the period of 15 days, failing which my client has given clear instruction to me to file criminal as well as the civil suit and suit for recovery in a competent court of law. And in that event, you will be fully responsible for all the cost, risk, responsibility, expenses, and consequences there. Please note with a copy of a notice. Again, we are writing the same affirmation. The copy will be there with me also, and one has been sent to you for the further procedure in the court. Okay. Again, the name of the advocate, sign and signature or stamp if it is there, that you need to. Okay. ये हो गए most of the informal way of writing the notices when you are writing for individual or any entity. Okay. Now, जहाँ पे we are filing the where we are using this section. ठीक है, जैसे under section 80. Now we are coming to under section 138. Okay. तो इसमें हम in detail लिखते हैं regarding to this and that section is applicable over here. And according to this section, you did not perform your duties, or this is somewhere illegal in that manner. ये हमें उन्हें approve करना होता है. Okay. तो उसके लिए we are having this last draft. That is legal notice under section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act for the honor of the check. ठीक है. Again, reference number, date, registered AD, subject, your legal notice under section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act for the honor of the check. Okay. To whom write down the name of the person, dear sir and madam. Okay. So abhi iska affirmation start with that under the instruction and authority from my client Mr. A, here referred to as my client, I do hereby serve upon you the following notices of demand under section 138 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Okay, right? जो हमने हमारे सब्जेक्ट में लिखा था, वही रेफरेंस वी आर राइटिंग टू give them a light or give them a notice on basis of this section 138. कि legally it has been stated, that's why we need to give a reference of this section. ठीक है. So then we are talking about that my client knows you from the last how many years, let's say that 1 year or 2 year, or maybe ये हो सकता है 6 months, 11 months. And on that account, you had gained the faith and confidence of my client that you demanded a friendly loan of rupees, let's say that 5 lakh from my client in the month of, let's say that June 2023. My client provided you with the said amount the earlier. You issued a check dated, that the check date you need to write for rupees 4 or 5 lakhs drawn on whatever account number and other details you need to write. In order to discharge your partial liability, at the time of issuing the check, you assured my client that the same is good for value and will be honored as and when presented. That when the aforesaid check was presented for encashment by my client to his banker, the same was returned unpaid by the banker with the reason that there was insufficient. My client informed you about it through the telephone, email. Despite various reminders, you failed to make a payment to my client. You tried to avoid the matter and stated to ignore my client. Since my client is left with no other option but to present you with the legal notice that you have failed to comply with the provision of the law and also failed to discharge your liability from your account, and the same check was dishonored intentionally and willfully, that either you discharge your liability towards my client in next 15 days, or criminal and civil charges will be framed against you and you can be punished for imprisonment which may extend to 2 years, or with fine which may extend twice the amount of the check, or fine, or with. Okay, again we are writing a affirmation that a copy of a notice is also attached over here for the record. Okay, for the procedure in the court, and again sign, stamp and signature of your advocate. Okay, stamp is optional if it is there, but most of the lawyers are having their own stamps. Okay, so name, signature and stamp. Okay, this is what we are making a legal notice according to section 130. अभी notices बहुत सारे sections पे depend होती है, bounce of check पे होती है, many of the things, और ये one of the best examples है negotiable instrument. Okay, insufficient fund in your bank. Okay, this is a illustrative structure of a legal notice which I have over here. ऐसे भी आप बना सकते हो. ठीक है, तो ये जो फर्स्ट पार्ट यू गाइस कैन सी, दिस इज नोन एज इंट्रोडक्टरी पार्ट. ठीक है, तो ये आप आपके लेटर हेड पे भी बनाते हो. दैट्स व्हाई यू कैन सी अ लेटर हेड हैज बीन गिवन, व्हाटएवर योर लीगल फर्म नेम इज देयर, एडवोकेट एंड लीगल कंसल्टेंट, लेफ्ट साइड पे you're writing your office and right side में your phone and other information. Registered AD we are writing right hand side में date और left hand side में date. To whom we are writing sir and madam under the instruction of my client. The same we need to follow. Okay. इसके बाद we are coming to the main body. Main body में we are writing at least 4 to 5 pointers. Okay. जैसे हमने ऊपर के इसमें देखा ड्राफ्ट्स में कि how we are stating all those pointers, तो ऐसे यहाँ पे भी 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 pointers are there. Okay, and then we are coming to the conclusive part. ठीक है, now how much amount needed to be paid, and then if you are not doing this, then a legal action can be taken. or last में we are writing कि one copy is there with me, yours faithfully, name, sign and signature of the advocate. Okay, this is how we are following in a 3 parts की introductory part, main body and conclusive part. This is how legal notices works and this is how we make legal notices. Now, do you have any doubt, anything regarding to the notices, everyone? If you have, type it in a chat box or you can take. Yes? Or anything else you wanted to ask regarding to this? Yes, no, anything? I hope you have understood the things which I have explained it to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mugdha, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for at least responding me. Okay. Okay, so this is how we make our legal notices draft. ठीक है? If you feel you are having any doubt after sharing the draft, okay, I will be sharing right now. Now, before I conclude, I talked about ki this section you need to keep it in your mind, okay, regarding to the services which are provided. ठीक है? So those I am writing inside of your chat box. ठीक है? तो आप वो नोट डाउन कर लेना क्योंकि वो वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट वन है. ठीक है? So one is section 28. Okay, order 5, rule 21 to 30. Okay, this is one of the important one. Next is section 29. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not section 29. It's order 29, rule. Next is order 30, rule 3 of civil procedure. Okay, so section 28 में rule 5, order 5, rule 21 to 30. ठीक है, इसके बाद में order 29, rule 2, order 30, rule 3 of civil procedure code. Okay, services in special case का ये clause था. Okay, I'll write it down. Services in special case. Okay, उसका ये clause था. This is how we are dealing with the notices. Okay, if you don't have any doubts, so I'll conclude our session over here. ठीक है, again I'm asking, if you have a doubt you can ask me. If not, then I'll conclude our session, and tomorrow we are starting with the written statement. Okay, so आप लोग पढ़ लेना एक बार what is there in written statement and all if possible, or otherwise I am here, so I'll be explaining you what is written statement. Okay, it's one of the easiest one. You need to give a reply. Okay, a reply by a defendant. Okay, so as no one is saying nothing, so let's conclude our session. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Have a very good night. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Mugna.